Greetings, greetings, beautiful friends, wonderful beings. Thank you so much for tuning in to Movement Medicine Morsels today. We're continuing Yoga Month with discussion and embodiment of some of the perhaps lesser known practices of classical yoga. But today we come to the third limb of the 8 limbs of classical Ashtanga Yoga, and that is asana, the most familiar to our North American culture and Western culture. So, what is asana? Asana means posture. We know that. We tend to associate it with the various physical postures of yoga practice. But what does it really mean? It means seat. It means seat or throne. And this denotes the steadiness and the nobility, the regal nature that we want to have when we're sitting in meditation. So, some of you may or may not know that most of the postures of yoga are to build strength, balance, and flexibility in the body and to release tension in order that we can really drop deep into our meditation practice, meditation being one of the jewels in the crown of yoga. So, the stillness without worrying about our backs or pain in the hips, we've created a strong and calm container in our physical body for our health and our inner and outer well being. So, steadiness. So, we're going to talk about seat. Seat. Now, one more little note, the great sage Patanjali, who is said to have written the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, which is essentially a psychological manual of the mind, written maybe 1500 years ago. There's some question about how long ago, anywhere from a couple of thousand to 500 years ago, but enough said, it's been around for a while. And the interesting thing, it's a text that I really love and dive into over and over again and always learn something new, is that what was said about the movements of the mind and how tricky the mind is and how there's a whole process of bringing the mind to a quiet, calm, non-reactive state. It's the same now as it has ever been. So the two qualities that Patanjali recommends that we look at around asana are steadiness and ease. Stiram, sukham, asanam. Sthira is steadiness or stability. Sukham means sweetness, ease, effortlessness. So, how do we find our place in asana, in any asana, whether it's a simple one, a challenging one? How do we maintain that lovely equilibrium of steadiness or stability and ease or effortlessness? Good question, and will keep us busy for an entire lifetime or more of asana practice. So let's begin seated, and I'm going to draw my chair back and I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit so you can see some more of my body. And I want you to see my feet for this one, and as well as my whole body. So starting by bringing ourselves to the initial posture where we connect to the earth for stability and the sky. I'm just going to move over a little bit for contrast, and the sky for suspension and elongation. So we're connecting, elongating upwards and rooting downwards. So feel the feet, just walk a little bit. If you want to get fancy, you can do a cross crawl. Exhale as you bring the knee and elbow together. Inhale when you open up. And as much as you can, bring the knees up rather than the chest down. Just getting the blood flowing. Circulation is always good for the mind, the muscles, all the systems of the body. And let this come to a natural finish. And feel your feet on the ground and plant them, wiggle your toes, and then wiggle your sit bones, because we're going to be featuring the hips as a method of being well seated. Any of you who ride horses, you know that the seat is the thing that all equestrians are looking for, a good seat where you're steady, balanced, and you can communicate energetically through your pelvis to the spine of the horse as your partner sentient being. So here we want to really feel our sit bones. So we want evenness on the right side and the left side. Let's loosen up our breath a little bit as well, because steady breath helps us feel ease and steadiness in our postures or our asana. So let's get right to exhaling and rounding the spine, interlacing the fingers so we stretch the chest around the lungs. Inhale, opening up, and maybe you want to even interlace your fingers behind. We're going gently. Exhale, we're practicing the sukha, the sukham, or the sweetness. We don't want to muscle or force our way. And enjoy the entire exhalation into your rounded back. Drink in an entire inhalation and find a pleasant rhythm and some ease. Very nice. Now, another way of finding ease is through some fluidity. So think of your armpit, elbow, wrist, and fingers flowing you in one direction, and then the other armpit, elbow, wrist, and fingers flowing you the other way. So we're letting the waist rock to one side. We're feeling like we're embraced in water, because we want to feel flow. Even if we're still in a pose, we still want to feel the flow of our breath, the flow of our energy, and just a little nice waving in the arms, and then some circling, one shoulder and then the other. And then another aspect of asana mentioned in the sutras is to be as blissful when you're in your asana as the great sage Vishnu was when he was reclining on the ocean of bliss. So just think of that relaxation and bliss. And this little exercise, inhale like you're brushing your hair and reaching back. Inhale and exhale. I call this one backstroke in the ocean of bliss. Inhale as you take that stroke up. Exhale as you relax it. And no concerns about what it looks like. Get into the feeling of it. Because if we're concerned about the look of it, then we're going back into the externals rather than going within. All right. Let's bring ourselves back to sitting. Maybe you want to fluff or express your wiggliness a little bit. Oh, and let's actually take the feet open and just gently rock the thighs in and out. It helps to lift the heels so you can pivot, and feet wide enough so your knees can roll in but not hit each other and roll out. So the concentration is on some loose, comfortable ease while we maintain that calm discipline of being very upright, stability and steadiness. All right, very good. Now let's take the knees wide, comfortably wide, and we're going to keep one knee where it is. Let's leave this one and slide the other leg out on the angle. So this is going to be our seated warrior. If you look down, your legs are going to be a little bit in front of your hips, not all the way back. Might be a little bit different when you're seated than when you're standing, but I think you can see those strong legs. And press down through the feet. You're getting stability through the earth and through your legs, and really feel your sit bones. This is where we're going to feel our seat. So feeling the pelvis, connecting to the chair, feeling the legs, not just hanging there, but connecting to the ground. And as we inhale, let's open the armpits and reach out through the arms. Look at both hands, check that the fingertips are not one arm above the other, but as best as you can be. And again, not behind, just a little bit in front, and rocking a little bit so you're really clear on your sit bones. Let your breath expand your belly, and let your breath relax in your belly. Eyes can be open or closed. You're reaching out through the fingertips, you're pressing down through the feet, You're reaching down through the sit bones, up through the crown of the head, but you're smiling and your breath is flowing. And now turn your gaze and look out over the arm that's above your bent knee and let your eyes look for miles. Let your breath tell your nervous system how relaxed you are. So the body is in stability or steadiness, but there's flow and ease and sweetness in our breath and in our attitude. We're not doing too much, but we're also not doing too little, the right amount. Let's relax the arms down and bring the head back to center and pause for a moment and see how that feels. Let's bend that straight leg so you've pretty much got a nice open. Now, some of you might be a little closer, some of you might be further, but again, we're not looking for extreme, nor are we shying away. We want to find that equilibrium. So now this leg stays bent, the other leg slides out on the trajectory of the thigh and give some energy to the legs. So one way to do that is to press down into the feet so they're really feeling the ground, and also press evenly into your sit bones. You've got that lovely spine, you feel the earth, you feel the sky, and these principles can be translated into every yogasana, whether you're upside down or sideways. And opening from the lungs, inhale, lungs, armpits, elbows, fingers, and then taking a quick visual to see if you're stretched out. Really reach through the fingers, down through the feet, through the sit bones, up through the spine, skull. And now smile. You've set the foundation. You've got the steadiness and the support. Let your breath flow rhythmically and with ease. Let's take a breath in through the nose and let out a soft sigh. Ah. And keep that sighing quality inside your breath. And turn your head on one of your exhales and look. Let your eyes really see what's around you. Press down through the feet so that you have the legs engaged, but you're really noticing where your hips are. And then gently relax, coming back head to the front. Relax the arms. And we're going to bend the knee and draw the legs into a more neutral position. Curve the spine and just lean over on your thighs, just calmly. Let the head relax. We're giving the spine a little stretch. Of course, if any of you would be even more comfortable lowering down further, you can do that. But again, we're not forcing. Remember, ease or sweetness has to be part of the formula, as well as steadiness. Let yourself breathe here, give you a nice release in the back. And then unroll, get your shoulders over your hips. And on an inhale, come up nice and tall. Notice how you're feeling. Check in with your breath. A steady rhythm of breath also helps us. So now we're going to come to standing if you'd like, or you can repeat seated. I'm going to tilt my camera again and slip off my moon boots. As we come to standing, those of us who want to stand, feel your feet. Now you're going to have to use your muscle memory for feeling that stability in your hips and reaching up through the crown of the head. Let's inhale our arms up, interlace our fingers, and exhale, get that beautiful vertical alignment. This mountain pose or vertical alignment is also a beautiful example of stability and ease. And let's release the arms and keep the height. And just a little bit of light shaking so that we stay loose. We've got a nice breath rhythm. We know we're working with steadiness and ease. Shake out a little bit sideways. Make sound if you like. And then a little bit of twisting. A few spirals, taking a gentle look around with the feet in place. And then if you wish, you can lift the back heel and get a little bit more twist. So nice to get that stretch in the hips. And now we're going to slow this down and we're going to return to the warrior standing. Those of you who are seated, you can repeat it seated. So let's take a wide step out, but not so wide that you're wobbly. Remember, we don't want to be gripping. We want to be in that place where our body feels comfortable, steady, and a little bit extended in the sense of we're making a statement here. Rotate the right leg out from the thigh, turning the foot from the thigh. Lift the left heel, rotate it back, and nice and steady. Imagine you've still got that stool under your hips, and imagine that that stool carries you over and you lunge. And inhale, feel that consciousness of knowing where your hips are. We'll do that one more time. And now staying here, and let's bring the palms to prayer position. Calm, steady breath. Your legs are powerful, but they're quiet. You're connected to sky and earth. You're smiling and your breath is steady. And on an exhalation, open the energy between your palms and press out, press out. Then stretch out through the wrists. Inhale the shoulders up. Exhale, let them just melt. The spine rises and we turn the gaze. Feel your sit bones connected to imaginary chair. Your legs are quiet, strong, gently toned. You have a beautiful open heart. Breath is free. And imagine, what does steadiness combined with ease mean for you right now? On the next inhalation, straighten up. Bring the palms together in front of the heart. Let's lift the right toes, pivot them around with the whole thigh. Lift the left heel and pivot that foot around. You may need to do a little bit of wiggling just to get that nice and straight. And let's bring the hands to the hips. Feel that imaginary chair, use your muscle memory. And without tipping, you're bringing the whole pelvis across. And then inhale, bringing it up, sliding the pelvis down and across. Inhale up, we're doing an extra one here, and sliding over. If you touch the backs of your thighs, there should be a little bit of tone. So if you don't feel tone and your knees are rolling in, lightly press those thighs into your hands, not making them into rocks, but feeling just a little bit of aliveness, and then the muscles hold the bones. Feel your feet, palms together. Take an inhalation. You're sitting tall, standing tall. Exhale, you expand. You press out, you release out through the fingers, relax the shoulders and let the spine fly up and down. And then finally turn the head and see. Don't stare, but receive. Soft face, the steadiness and quietness of your position, your posture, your asana, and the inner cultivation, steadiness, ease, stability, even breath, belly expanding, lungs expanding on the inhale, belly and lungs gently relaxing inwards on the exhale. And you're calm. You're calm. You could stay here for quite a long time, but we're not going to. And then gently coming back to the center, relaxing, bringing the feet to neutral. So you might be a little turned out or parallel or turned in, but both legs doing the same thing. And standing quietly in this version of mountain. Let's bring the arms up. We're going to do a sneaky transition in, interlace the fingers, and we want to maintain the upward lift. Lift the heels a little bit and bring them in. Just keep breathing. Lift the toes a little bit, bring them in. So we keep rising up with the upward stretch as we heel toe our way in, coming to what's comfortable stance for you. And then exhale, bursting the fingers, painting a giant rainbow of prana, chi around you, bending the knees. Inhale, opening the arms, big embrace, embrace the sky, touch the palms, and exhale, draw the beautiful energy into the heart space. Take a moment to appreciate your heart, your lungs, your ability to love self and send that love to all others. And then on an exhale, bringing the fingertips down to acknowledge the earth. And finally, folding the hands over the low belly so that we're grounded in the pelvic seat. Feel the tail drop. Feel the upper body float. Feel that combination of steadiness and ease. So steadiness without gripping, ease without getting sloppy or floppy, but a beautiful, it's always a movement. And we'll finish with the bamboo in the breeze. So imagine you're a beautiful stalk of bamboo, fresh and upright. You're well rooted, and the breeze is caressing you and moving you. So here's an interesting aspect of steadiness and ease. You're moving, so the ease is allowing you to flow without breaking, but the steadiness continues your feeling of stability and calm. And the breeze begins to subside, bringing you back into the quiet bamboo and the stillness with that lovely energy of mountain rooted deep into the earth and peak rising to the sky. But in your human form, you are also animated by glorious, caressing breath that fills you and flows out of you, flowing with ease in a steady rhythm that calms and balances the nervous system. So beautiful, so much depth simply in the exploration of the concept of sthiram, sukham, asanam, steadiness, sweetness, in balance, in harmony, in their changing, dancing relationship, and the wonderful nourishment that this brings to every asana, every pose. Many blessings to you. Thank you for joining into today's practice in our series of Yoga Month and Movement Medicine Morsels. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Drop me a line if this sets off bells or lights, or you have questions, or you want to discuss, or you even want to request something that you'd like me to talk about. So I'm always delighted to talk about yoga and qigong and energy and breath. So here I am. Many blessings. We'll see you next time.